Welcome, everyone, to the general gaming channel known as M12 Warthog Game.
Hey guys, M12 Warthog Game here. What's going on, Hogs? I am back with another episode of Strategy Guide, and today we're playing the map Tweety on the game Risk Factions, and I'm gonna get right into this. Okay, so our objectives to start out: guaranteed card, control Warpaw, control Coda, you get an additional maneuver. Not high on the priority list, as that place can be constantly flooded by your enemies if they own the control of the dam. Get rid of your extra troops. Then again, you might want to go there because sometimes you can get objective bonuses for mining minerals. You get an airfield for controlling an enemy capital. Control 3 connected cities. Mine 12 minerals, which is why you might want to go to Kotada and why you might get flooded. Take over 9 territories in 1 turn. You get defense die. Complete 2 continents. You get an attack die. 2 enemy capitals gives you 2 additional troops. And now to start off, I'm going to go in the area of Warpaw, and I'm going to try and grab as many territories as I can. Now, there are many ways to do this, but I think this way is going to be good. Now, one of the things you probably need to know is that I'm going to try and keep my territories connected to each other and reduce the amount of borders that I have. Okay, so pretty much someone doesn't like the fact that I'm picking all territories in Warpaw, mainly the humans. But we own more territories in this area than they do, so right now I think we're good. Now, if you own full control of Warpaw, you only have 3 territories to defend. It's very easily defended. You only get 2. Though, although if someone gets Silmadon, it's easy to defend, but you really only have 1 territory to attack from. And when you try to plow through the bottom, or the upper areas of Next Gen Bay, try and get over here to the rest of the map, you really can't do that, because you have to wait until you get a buttload of troops. That way, when you come here, you take over this territory, stop here, and then wait for another turn, because at Meow's Corner is a great place as it stretches from the northeast to like the southwest area of the. It pretty much stretches the whole continent. And it pretty much when you take that over, you don't have to be here in this situation where you have to defend 2 territories instead of 1, which also makes it a good idea as well. I can tell you to start out with that I already know which 2 territories I'm going to take over. Now, of course, I'm going to try and get this area as well, although I'm not going to do much here other than defend it, which is a possibility and is something I'm planning on doing. Now, as I get less and less territories, this is going to be harder and harder for me to do, but to pick out this, but apparently no one wanted interest in that island. So, starting off, I actually have 3, and I have 3 bonus troops. Now we're going to populate territories. I'm not sure what I want to do here. Other than the fact that I'm going to put 5 there, maybe 5 there, 5 here, and then after that, I'm going to put, like, all my troops, say, in this territory, and take out these 2 areas. Now, of course, to start out with, we're going to have to put it in one of our 3 border territories that we currently have right now. I don't count the other 2 as I'm planning to take them over, and it's not really considered a border if they can't attack it, and if I take it out before they attack it, I guess that's a possibility. So we'll see how things go from there. So, looking at this so far as troop placement goes, the bottom middle area of the map, the humans have the strongest presence, so I'm assuming that they are probably going to put their capital there, or would probably be the best place for them to do that, as it's not an easy accessible area to attack from. On top of that, I would also like to say that I think either the lower area of Next Gen Bay or somewhere in Silstress is probably one of the best places would probably be the best place for a capital for the zombies. I would pick the bottom area, the area of Silstress, to be a secondary area. The best place out of the two best would be Silstress would be 2. Best, the very best at this point would probably be any non-border territory that they have in that they have in Next Gen Bay, which is only 3. No, yeah, they only have 3 border. You have to pay attention to the lines that direct you which ways you can travel across water with your armies. Now, I do gotta be wary of the fact that the zombies have the biggest presence in Next Gen Bay, and once they take that over, they're probably gonna go for my island. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to take over the rest of Next Gen Bay, defend that, send more troops to Simladon, or the island over there that I have. I'm just calling it the island because I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing the name right. Now, of course, I'm gonna have to, take it turn by turn and go, okay, I'm gonna attack from this territory, then I'm gonna have to patch up the defenses after I maneuver my troops all around, and I'm like, okay, next turn I'm going over to the island area and taking care of what's over there. So you have to go a little bit back and forth, as this was the best option that I could have out of what was available to me, as we go turn by turn picking, or manual pick as they call it. So I'm going to put this down here. Now, for me, either Carpal Coast or anywhere on this island is good. But, I only have 1 territory to defend here, and it makes it easier to defend. So I'm going to put my capital here. Now, of course, they're going to put that right on the coast. Pretty much that zombie capital separates, the half of the map. In order to get to one half of the map, you have to go through, that territory to get to Next Gen Bay and Silmadon. So, for now, what I'm going to do is put all my troops here. I'm going to launch an attack. And I'm gonna go here. I now control Warpaw. Complete 2 continents. So I'm gonna put maneuvers here. Wait, I'm actually gonna take this and maneuver it here. Now, I do like to note, before I actually maneuver, that I cannot maneuver troops here, as that would be going through enemy territories, and that is not allowed. But I am going to maneuver some troops there, because I think that's going to be attacked. That is an attack die. If that was a defense die, I would have gotten that first. But you have to attack a certain number of territories with I think it's like 9 in one turn. Take over 9 territories in one turn for that. So now I'm going to see what they're going to do. They're probably going to take over the rest of Silverstress and try and go for a continent bonus. Now, the downside for the zombies is they're sort of, all their territories are sort of in the middle. So they can be attacked from both sides and probably have the most bordering territories and the most territories they have to worry about that are being attacked. Then again, as the way I look at this, I sort of expect the humans and the zombies to sort of attack each other for control continent bonuses and trying to prevent each other. Because I think if I can make it so that I have more troops on my borders than the other two factions, they're not gonna they're gonna want to attack another territory that's easier for them to take over. Okay, so now that I got this done, now that I got the waiting for the turns and whatnot, what do I want to do here? Well, as I see card, so I would be completely fine with taking my time in defending my territories. There's nothing wrong with this. Waiting an extra turn. But I do want to take over a territory. And I'm fine with that. But the territory I'm taking over is this one. Most people least expect it and don't think that, will least expect this because no one I've played against hardly even uses this. But it is an option because you can travel through water and you can go here down to Coda and get this. Now the reason I do this is because this is the only territory in Coda that can attack Warpaw. So it's pretty much the same thing. I still have one territory on one I still have the same number of borders. Now of course you can do die battle, but I prefer fast battle as it's, well, 1, faster, 2. We don't have to worry about the dice roll. Doesn't really matter that much. If you get a higher die roll, then you win. Now, maneuver-wise, I don't really want to do anything else. And I'll just accept this attack die, which increases my chances of taking over territory, and sort of pretty much cancels out the effect of a defensive die. Now, of course, the zombies want their half of the dam back. Now, the downside to me having this in Kotada is that my troops could easily be flushed away if someone takes control of that. In which case, I would either maneuver all my troops back to Warpaw, which is the best thing to do, as I could get them back to controlling that border area. But I also think the humans are going to put all of their troops into Kotada and try and take down my border. And I do not want to deal with that. But like I said, it's really playing on the defensive here if you have to go with two sides until you meet up. I'm going to put that there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't think I'll have enough troops. But I'll put all my troops here next turn, and I'm going to do a move. It doesn't matter. I actually get a guaranteed card of 1. So, it doesn't matter if I took over a territory. I'm still getting a card. Now, of course, as I said before, they now have full control of that dam. So, but they cannot flood it until next turn. So what I'm going to do is move all my troops back to Warpaw and let them take that. There's no point in defending that if it's going to get destroyed. I only get 8. That's 8 total. And they're going to weaken whatever hold the zombies have on, or tried to weaken the hold on Next Gen Bay, but it didn't work out for them. My ending maneuver, no matter what, is gonna be removing my troops from Kota. But first, I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna go on a giant rampage into Next Gen Bay. I have the numbers to take over this many territories. And this territory can be defended by itself, unlike if I owned any of these, I would have to defend 2 territories to maintain a hold in Kotata, but now I really only have to focus on one area. Now I'm going to do that, maneuver all my troops back to here, and my guaranteed card, and I think I own more than half the map now. Just as I predicted, they were going to flood away all their troops, and I would have lost 9 troops, and my border would have been exposed. But I prevented that by retreating back and knowing when to retreat. Sometimes retreats aren't always meaning that you're fleeing from battle, but fleeing from a disaster or something that you know you cannot stop. Like, it's the equivalent of, like, saying you're occupying a town with infantry and you know they will not be able to survive an armored assault from, like, tanks. Moving them out and replacing them with units that can defend off them is usually a better idea. In this case, my infantry were the ones in Kotata, and the flood would be the armored vehicles. So, I've gotten rid of that. Now I'm putting more troops here as I have a higher number here, so it's going to be easier to take out the rest of Next Gen Bay. It's more like a hammer and anvil, where I have just enough troops to make people, like, I'm not going to have enough troops during the strapping phase to go to my border, but then again, I also have a lot more troops on the other side of the map, pushing them against it, so eventually I'm going to squish them together. As my troops, or pretty much my area of Warpaw is not going to be moved for a while. I take out the capital last. That way all my troops, that way I don't have to maneuver troops. All of them can be maneuvered right here. Now, one of the main things is that the next continent I'm going after is Simos, and not Silvestris or Kotata. But once I get that side, I could easily go for Kotata once I secure a border. Now, the reason I'm going for Simos is because I want half of the dam, that way they can't flood my troops when I get there. And also, because if I have this as a border, this territory, they can't get to this side and take over this unless they want to go through, because from here, from this territory, they can go 1, 2, take over 2 territories, and they have full control of the dam again. Now, if they go here, they have to take over many. They want to get up here if I were to control all of Simos. So what I'm going to do is zoom out, and I'm going to wait. I'm going to take my additional maneuver, and that will come in handy later on. But once I take over all of Kotata, one of my areas that I'm defending as a border in Warpaw will no longer be needed to be defended, and I do not have to worry so much about that area being defendable, as it's not directly attackable right now, as I'm going to have to go through one territory to get that. But if I were to take over Silvestris, I would have to worry about defending 2 territories, and it's just easier to defend 1 than 2. Also, as of this moment, I can additional maneuver. And I didn't notice it last turn. I should have done this last turn, but one of my territories already is no longer a border. Up in Warpaw. This area right here can only be attacked from this territory in Warpaw. or directly attacked from this area, but I own both of them. So what that means is I'm going to put all these troops here. I'm going to run a campaign, can take all of Simos, move those 10 over to there as a border, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to end my drafting phase. Do not want to make use of my starting maneuver, but I'll make use of my maneuver at the end of my turn, which you start out with. So now I'm going to get that. I have control of half of the dam, or whatever it is. Now, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Maneuver all of these here. And I get a guaranteed card. Now, the zombies are probably going to go for Silver Stress. Or for any air territory in Kotada. The secondary best option they could have if they could maneuver their troops with the starting maneuver would be to put them all in one territory and try and go after Next Gen Bay and retake their capital. But that is not going to be the best thing to do. Right now, I do realize that if I take over all of Kotada, that I'm going to have to deal with too many borders. But I can pretty much spend 6 stars to get 13 troops. So I'm almost doubling the number of troops here. And what I'm going to do is a bit risky, but sometimes it's worth it. Hence the name Risk Factions. You do have to take certain risks when battling, because you may not get the territory. But what I'm doing is I'm going here. And now I'm going to attack this. But I'm going to leave behind as many troops as I can. I think, though, you have to have a minimum of at least 3 there. And now I'm going to go for Silver Stress. And I have full control of the dam, although I'm not going to flood that when I have full control. That's kind of pointless. Although, seeing as it's not going to be a border, I'm not going to have any troops there, so if someone were to flood it, there's no point. I'm going to go over here and finish off Silver Stress, as I have the numbers to do so. And pretty much, that is how you win on the Risk Factions map Tweety. Pretty much, get an island on one side, get Warpaw on the other side. Yeah, hammer and anvil. Hammer and anvil. People have used it before in certain battles, well, wars. So I guess it works on certain maps. Don't forget, guys, if you want to leave me any comments, questions, or feedback for me in the comment section down below, that'd be highly appreciated. And don't forget to suggest other Risk Faction maps you want to see me do. I'm planning on doing all of them, but any ones that you suggest will be done first before I get to the ones that weren't suggested. So feel free to do that as well, and I will see you guys later in another video.